Hey everybody, this is Mark again, of course, and I'm still on the other side of the world from my United States friends. I am in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia, but on the island of Borneo. So if you look on a map, you see the big island of Borneo, which is where orangutans come from. It's a pretty large island, but most of it is owned by Indonesia. The western strip is actually called East Malaysia because it's owned by Malaysia. And there's two Malaysian states on this eastern strip, or western strip, sorry. Sabah to the north is one Malaysian state. Sarawak is where I am right now, and I'm in the main city of Kuching. It's a large city, very modern. We went to a mall last night and had dinner and bought a few items that I needed. But as soon as you get outside of the city, then you get into all of the native tribal areas and wonderful people, but they live the way they've lived for hundreds of years. And one of the unique things about one of the tribes, they have some people from that tribe that I've been teaching while I've been here, but they live in what's called longhouses. And these are just, you have to walk hours and hours out into the jungled areas to get to their villages. And what they do is they build one very long, what we would kind of look at and call a dormitory, but then families, they divide that up and they live in those rooms in family units. They're wonderful people. The gospel is spreading among them, the teaching of God's grace. Harry Tambas, which is one of the brothers here in town that is from those areas and that have been in my teaching sessions, great guy, and he's read all my books and he takes them out and reads them to the people in their native tongue. And it's very exciting, and I'm just thrilled to be here. Yesterday, we gathered people together, gathered young leaders together, and we spent a few hours just question and answer. And we just sat down together, and they began to ask me questions about grace and the teaching of Jesus and why the Sermon on the Mount seems so hard. And of course, the answer is because Jesus is trying to show us that if we think we can live up to the perfection of God, we cannot. However, he lived a perfect life on our behalf. And now, by his Spirit, he lives in us, and he is changing us. Not that we will become perfect in this life by any means. Jesus is far, way too perfect for us to ever attain to in this life, but we are in process. We are being transformed, and we have this guarantee and assurance. John said, we do not understand with our natural minds what we're going to be when he returns, but this we know. When we see him, we shall be made like him. That will be the finish of our transformation, our metamorphosis. So I'm having a wonderful time. I wanted to say something again about the coronavirus. It is ravaging this part of the world everywhere now. South Korea has just had a very major outbreak, and they're afraid. And I see on Facebook and some of the messages that I've gotten from people in America, and a few of them, not many, fortunately, but a few of them have said things like, we have thousands of people every year that die of the flu. So, why are they so upset, about just several hundred that have died? Well, here's why. Number one, this virus is unlike the flu or anything else that you or I might be used to, because you can be contagious and not even have a symptom or even know you're sick for more than 14 days, which means that for 14 days you are spreading this potentially deadly virus. You don't have any idea that you are. Doctors don't have any idea that you are. And the people you're coming in contact with every day don't have any idea that you're spreading this virus. By the time you know that you're sick, you have already spread this to countless other people that you've come in contact with, and then they've come in contact with. And so that's the reason. And one other big reason is, unless you live right in the heart of New York City, or right in the heart of Chicago or Boston, you cannot really appreciate the fact that millions of people here in the cities live, thousands of them in one apartment building, high rises. Hong Kong is an island that is covered with very, very multi-storied apartment buildings, and thousands of people are packed into these very tiny apartments. And so people are jammed together so close in many of these cities, most of these cities, that they come in contact with literally thousands of people every single day. Tokyo, places like that, where they ride on the subway or on the train every day, back and forth to work, they come in contact with thousands of people, literally. And then those people come in contact with thousands of people. It's not like the Midwest, or it's not like California, where everything is spread out and everybody rides in cars. It's very different over here. So, the churches are reaching out to people, and there's tremendous quarantines where in one place in China, 3.5 million people have been ordered to not leave their home because of exposure to other people. So pray for what's going on, certainly in crises like this. I wouldn't suggest that God starts them, but I certainly would declare that he uses these situations to cause people to cry out to him for help. And people who have felt secure in their current belief in another God are now beginning to say, you know what, I'm asking if there's a greater God out there somewhere. And it does make people ripe for the gospel. It's sad because people are afraid and people are dying. But it does give a great opportunity to pray for people, to encourage people that there is a God who created all of what you see. But most importantly, he loves you completely, and he wants you to get to know him. And I'm just delighted to play a little part in that. And for all of our partners who support all that we do, we only have money because you give. And we are so deeply grateful for you. You're making all of this possible. By the way, these people here, their native tongue is Bahasa. And because of your giving, we have already translated Rock Solid into Bahasa. And so they are beginning to use this to make one-to-one disciples and lay a firm foundation. And you could pray for me too, but I'm feeling great, by the way.